Hi, my name is Nikita Thompson. I am the executive assistant to Jonathan Cunningham, who is owner and guru millworker for Xoana Millwork. I just recently joined the team, but I am super excited and I feel as though I've been here for forever. It's an amazing team and I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Cunningham, owner of Xoana Millwork here in Nassau, Bahamas. I've been in the millwork industry for 28 years, having a whole lot of fun. And today we're going to tell you a little bit about what we do.
So, Jonathan, just of course, I know a bit about Royal Caribbean, our relationship with them, but we've recently heard about new projects coming on stream in the Bahamas for both Royal Caribbean and MSC. So, I'm just wondering, where do you see the millwork industry and the impact of these new projected projects for the Bahamas and by extension, the region?
Yeah, all the cruise lines have exciting news, lots going on in the industry. And specifically, Royal Caribbean, now that they've finished the Royal Beach Club Paradise Island, they announced a few weeks ago that they're doing an entire new port in Miami just for Royal Caribbean. That project is over $1 billion. They've also got two large projects going on in Mexico. Those are happening right now. And in the near future, they're going to do a large expansion at Coco Key here in the Bahamas. And I believe after that, then they're going to start the Xanadu Beach project in Grand Bahama. And all of those are the land-based locations where the cruise ship guests come and get off, spend the day at the beach club. So Royal Caribbean has a lot of work in the coming years.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So, with that being said, how does that impact Zoanna Millwork directly? We have worked with them in the past and still ongoing. So, how does that impact Zoanna Millwork? I'm sure it's exciting. And would you see the prospect or the possibilities of something like that impacting our work, our team?
Well, working in the cruise ship industry is a lot of fun because um, the type of work is very interesting. They're trying to portray a fun experience for the guest. And so it's not maybe average boring millwork.
Right.
It's not office cabinetry. It's very colorful and bright,
Yes.
and um, they're very uh, they're very intentful on the guest experience.
Mhm.
So what we do and what we build is extremely important to them, and it affects the guest experience. So it's been a lot of fun working with them,
Mhm.
and we hope to do a lot more with them in the future and in their next projects.
I'm hopeful too. I get to see it firsthand, and it is, as you say, colorful and very different.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So I'm going to take it to the country as a whole. What do you see as the impact for the Bahamas, particularly Royal Caribbean? And I say that because, of course, again, we have that relationship with them. But what do you see it as impacting the Bahamas from an economic perspective? We know the numbers are really, really good,
Mhm.
and construction has always been a strong industry here. So, how do you see the continuity of these projects impacting the Bahamas?
Well, if you look at it from the highest level, currently there are 50 ships being built worldwide for delivery in the next 5 years. So that
Wow.
gives you an idea of what's happening in the cruise ship
Yes.
industry. The majority of those ships will sail through the Caribbean, and so we are a big benefactor in what's going on here in the Bahamas. We obviously benefit tremendously through the tourism of all those guests
Of
coming to our
course.
shores,
Yes.
and for us specifically in the construction industry with all of this development going on and this surge that's coming,
Mhm.
it's great for our industry. So we're not only just providing jobs and in construction, these are really high end projects. These are international quality, great great projects and developments that they're putting a lot of money into. So for the construction industry, we get tremendous experience working on these kind of things, and that's really going to help elevate the skilled trades in the Bahamas just for the opportunity to work on such fantastic projects.
That sounds good. So, of course, you know that we have the Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute here, and they offer a myriad of trades, construction being one of their bigger trade offerings. So, that sounds good. So, it means then, or you can help me with it, it means then that job offerings will be continuous and more prolific, right?
Yeah, I think we're gonna see a lot more focus on construction trades, the industry as a whole. The boom that we're already in, the boom that's still coming for years to come. The BTVI will play a big part in that. We obviously need their help
Yes.
in training kids and getting graduates, promoting the trade industry as a great career. It's a great lifestyle. When I was in school, the guidance counselor would kind of push you towards trades if your grades weren't very good.
Right.
I did it because I loved it. I never considered anything else, but I feel like that's finally changing um, around the world. That construction trades is a great lifestyle, a great career, and you can make a lot of money in it. Um, Here in the Bahamas, we have a really big need for skilled trades,
Right.
as well as the rest of the world. But in the United States alone, there's a current need for 400,000 electricians.
Wow.
And a lot of that has to do with AI and data centers and all that new development. We have similar issues here in the Bahamas in that all of these big developments, whether it's hotel or the cruise ship industry, we need skilled trades to build these things. And hopefully our industry can grow and develop where we don't have to bring in as many people to help with these. Um, and I think it's an exciting time for the construction industry to develop and become great in the coming years.
It sounds so, and I just like the fact that you added that it's now a trade, you can make quite a bit of money. So one time ago, it might have been because you had no other choice, but
Right.
now it seems to be a more prolific opportunity, I would say. So that's really, really good.
It's something to be proud of,
Yes.
right? You should be proud to walk around and say that you're a carpenter or I'm a plumber. And
Yes.
my daughter heard some viral video the other day about a plumber could make $1 million, and she said, "A plumber could make $1 million." I said, "They can make a lot more than $1 million."
Oh, wow.
Um, Skilled trades are desperately needed, and they're not going to be replaced by AI. So it's definitely something to be proud of. It's difficult. It takes a lot of time. It takes a really long time to learn a trade and get great at it, and then you also have to get great at business to go along with it.
Of course.
And that's a key component that's going to keep you busy and get you a lot of work. But it's absolutely something you should be proud of.
That sounds good. So before I go back to Royal Caribbean, I just want to segue into something that you mentioned, AI, of course. So we know that AI is everywhere. We use it often,
Every day.
every day, every day. But how will AI impact the millwork slash construction sector? And do you see it enhancing or do you see it taken away from it?
But I think it's definitely going to enhance
Mhm.
all skilled trades.
Mhm.
Um, where we are using AI every day.
Yeah.
It's tremendous when I'm talking to a client in a Zoom meeting or face to face, and
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to describe an item or a project or something. I can just pull up my phone and do a rendering instantly and show them a lot of details. And that's tremendous technology. So I think it's going to have a huge impact on our industry. It already is, and it's all going to be good. I think they're tools that we're going to be able to use to be better at what we do, maybe to communicate better, to let customers visualize easier. Um, so yeah, I'm very excited about how AI is going to change the industry.
So it will definitely sound like it's going to enhance and bring the industry up to higher levels.
Yeah, yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely.
Awesome. So Royal Caribbean is really, really making a move. We have the Royal Beach Club, which is going well. How do you see their involvement from that perspective? More substantial within the Bahamas? How do you see that over the next 5 to 10 years impacting the economic status of this country and by extension, all the way down to the average construction worker or mill worker?
Well, they definitely made a big impact last year by opening their office right here on Bay Street downtown.
For sure.
So it's a huge commitment that they're here to stay. And I think that was a very big impact for the country. They're building these specific locations because the Bahamas is part of their future, right? So they're here to stay. And I think that's great. The trickle effect of those tourism dollars that come into this country is tremendous.
Yeah.
It's maybe not always seen and a little hard to track. But when you look at how it affects just us in the millwork industry, we're part of that trickle down effect of those tourists. And that surge of 50 ships being delivered in the next 5 years is going to have a bigger trickle down effect, a bigger impact. So I think we will start to see it. I believe we're already in a boom in the Bahamas,
Good.
and that's just going to keep increasing and increasing as the tourism numbers keep climbing.
So, putting together a team with millwork, all of the tools, everything that's required for a big project like Royal Caribbean, and then the new project that was announced for MSC. What is some of the aspects of this whole work from a millwork perspective, but considering the full picture, what aspects of it are underestimated by the average person or anybody looking in?
Well, there's a lot that goes into
I
it
know.
in the big project,
Yes.
it's definitely not easy,
Yeah.
and the larger the project, the more details and the more that goes into it. Um, we we rely on a large network of people around the world. So we have many different manufacturers around the world with a lot of expertise. So that's one way when we're in the sort of design stage, um, and we're trying to figure out the right solution, how to build something. We rely on our vendors and their expertise. Some of these guys that we work with, are in their mid 70s and even older, and they've got 50 years of amazing experience. So we tap into that whole network worldwide, depending on specifically what it is. Um, that's just the beginning of this sort of giant collaboration that can execute such a large project. Uh, then we get things manufactured in multiple locations all over the world. And then, of course, the logistics that come with that are incredibly complicated, whether it's sea freight or air freight and multiple stops and transitions around the world just to get to the Bahamas. And then there's a lot of detail that goes um, into the guys that are actually going to do the installation. And we do the same sort of thing. We rely on our partners worldwide to help us with that. So when we've got a large project that needs installation, we need additional help. We can rely on them to provide some of that.
Okay.
Uh, but in general, we do constant, never-ending training, and
Yes.
that's how we build a team locally that is great. And that takes a very long time, and a lot of details that go into that is, we train every morning on Zoom. The entire team is on Zoom, and yeah, very early. Yeah. Um, and we've done that for years. And only after years and years of training development, we start to see the effects of having a great team with core values. They love what they do. We have a tremendous amount of fun. And when you look at a big project or you see something happening, or you see the final results, when they finally get to open the doors, you don't see all of the tremendous detail that's gone into it and the years and years of training. And so there's a lot.
That's good. So, of course, I know trust man. I mean, I have the best seat in the house, but I like what you said in terms of the core values. So, if you can just take a few moments to share with us how the core values of Xoana Millwork, in particular, how that impacts our delivery as a team, our execution while we're on site for the various clients, and what the impact is for the overall end results. If you can share.
Yeah, so our core values started years ago in one of our meetings, and I got all the guys to identify what they thought was a core value, like what is something they believe in really strongly. And we developed 5 out of that conversation, and we've now had those for years, and we talk about them all the time. Even in this morning's meeting, Dino identified something they did very late last night in an installation, and it hit 3 core values. So um, it means a lot to them. Once they've created the core values and they really believe in it and they live by them, it helps build a great team. It builds the kind of culture that we're trying to do, and that's ultimately what we're trying to do is build a great team. Um, we added a core value recently, where we felt like there was a little gap. So we've added one more. And I think it's extremely important in what we do. The end result of what we're trying to get all comes from a team that's loving what they do and that works really well together. And I think believing in those core values is the big step that gets you there.
Yes, I think so. So, how do you think it plays out in our meetings, for example, with our prospective clients, in particular with Royal Caribbean, as we segue to possibly entertaining MSC for their new project? How do you think it conveys the core values of Xoana Millwork? First of all, I have to say that Xoana means gold. And that is one of the first things that stood out for me. The
Yeah.
name is just really unique and the meaning is fantastic. And I can put a plug in. We provide work that is gold, 100%. So there. So, how do you think that plays in with the clients? Do they see it? Do they feel it? Of course, I know I've sat in meetings and I've heard them
Yeah.
speaking very well of the team, the level of professionalism, the dedication, the quality of work, and the way that we go about working it. But I want you to share with us, from you being Xoana Millwork yourself and meeting with the clients, how is the story, the core values, the mission, the purpose of Xoana Millwork? How does it relate and correlate with the clients?
I think one of the things that the client sees the most is that we have a lot of fun.
Yes.
We love what we do,
Yeah,
right? And that's part of our mission statement.
yeah.
I love what we do. Um, so I think that shows through very, very quickly. Um, the rest of our core values and the mission we're going, the mission that we're on and where we're going, it also starts to show through when you see the rest of the team, and the way that they act. And so it's not just one person at the top that sort of understands what's going on. It's the entire team. Um, and they do a great job in solving our customers' problems, right? And servicing the customer. We're all on the same big goal of building a great team and building a great business with a great team that sole purpose is um, to help the team achieve their own personal goals and where they want to go in life. And and that's really why we exist, right? Um, so we're not out there just to make a buck.
Right.
It's not why we're doing it. We're doing it because we love it and we're trying to achieve things for ourselves and our group as a team. And I think that's kind of what drives them, and that's why we get good results out of them. That's why they're out at 11 o'clock at night working on a beach and, getting rained on and finishing the job under brutal circumstances.
With
They
no complaints, I might add.
right?
No
Um,
complaints.
and still posting pictures and
Yes.
still posting the next day plan, before they go to sleep. Um, w we're getting those kind of things out of the team because, everybody contributes, and we're all after one big thing. We know that as a group, we can achieve great things, and so it's very cool to see that stuff happening, and I have nothing to do with it. I'm not prompting it, I'm not pushing them, I'm not dragging them along, so it's great.
Awesome. Let's talk about MSC and their announcement and the impact once again. The numbers, we like to talk about numbers and we all need numbers, from the biggest entity right down to the average individual. We all need the numbers. So talk about the oncoming project and the impact, the direct impact with the Bahamas and then the region as a result of this new project.
So 2 weeks ago, MSC announced a $450 million development in Grand Bahamas.
This move.
Building another beach club, and the best part is it's at Arlucaya, so everybody knows the struggles of Arlucaya, the entire area, the 2 hurricanes that hit Grand Bahama 20 years ago, and they've struggled ever since. So, for MSC to make that announcement of a $450 million beach club, is fantastic, and that's just 1/3 of that entire project that's happening. So, um it's the news that everybody in Grand Bahama has been waiting for a very long time, and, And again, it's very exciting for everybody in the construction industry, whether you live in Grand Bahama or not. It's going to be great for the Bahamas.
So, do you think it will be overwhelming for the construction supply in Grand Bahama? We will have to bring in companies like Solano or other companies that to provide support or strengthen the construction human resource on the island. You can get.
So the challenge is that when there's not enough supply, developers can just go to the United States or they can buy from around the world and bring it in. So I think it's our job as an industry in construction to be able to demonstrate that we're capable to do it. They have to know about us, first of all. If they've never heard of us, then they don't know. They're just going to go buy stuff from China when we could build it for them. So they could have a local partner here that's executing and helping them get to their finished product. That's much better than just buying something online or buying it from the other side of the world and trying to deal with it yourself.
So I have a question for you. Now, I know in the Bahamas, we are a little laid back in our time. Sometimes it's not really on the 24-hour clock, but we get there. What, from your experience, what is the expectation of an MSC of Royal Caribbean in terms of the way that we work together, come together on these particular projects, what we do, and how does it correlate to the dollar going home at the end of the day? What is their expectation of us?
I think all large developments, and even if you're building a small residential house, they still have a schedule that they need to meet.
Right.
Right? When things creep beyond a schedule,
Mhm.
somebody's losing money. That's
Yes,
basically what it comes down to,
that
right?
part.
On a residential house, somebody
Yeah.
can't live in their house and now they're paying for, another place to live, something like that. On the large projects, it's millions and millions of dollars by not opening on time
Right.
or delays. So it's extremely important, and it's one of the most difficult things to control in the
Mhm.
Bahamas is the schedule. So
Right.
uh, I think it's extremely important. They expect things will be done on time and they will open in time. And, in the case of Royal Caribbean, there was no other option. They worked tremendously long hours through the night
Mhm.
and they made it happen. And they opened 2 days earlier than what they originally announced. So
Good.
there's really no other option. It has to open on time.
So it does have a negative impact in terms of the money. If they're, of course, if they are losing, if they're not opening on time, then there's such a thing as a penalty.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes there's penalties. Sometimes it's just that they can't generate revenue,
Mhm.
from their new product,
Mhm.
or they've got things in storage. You're paying consultants and contractors and everybody more and more and more when there's delays.
Right.
But one of the big impacts it has on us is it costs us as a small business money when a job takes months and months longer.
Right.
We're still involved. We still have all of our overheads involved on that project. So
Mhm.
when we get involved in large projects that have to open on time and
Mhm.
there's no other option, we make money. And so it's
Right.
it's really good for us.
Okay.
Um, it may not be easy,
Mhm.
but ultimately it's good for every small business. If they need to improve a little bit, they need to learn some new strategies, they need to figure it out and get it done.
Mhm.
But what they'll discover is when they do that and things happen on time, they actually make money. When
Okay.
things drag on longer and longer and longer, you don't really realize it. It's small amounts,
Right.
but you're paying overhead for that project. It's preventing you from moving on to another project.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
and all of those costs add up significantly.
Mhm.
And ultimately, your entire profit disappears because of slipping the schedule. So it is great for us when a project finishes on time.
Awesome. Awesome. So we have the new projects. The projects are completed. Let's talk about maintenance or the continuity of the properties that were just newly erected. Over time, they erode or, you see some defects, particularly if you are out in the ocean area, right?
Yeah.
Corrosion is a big issue.
Right.
So, talk about maintenance from a countrywide perspective in the construction sector. Is it a big component of the profitability of this industry? Or if not, how can the profitability margins increase from maintenance and construction?
Yeah, so maintenance has a huge effect. It has a lot to do with the way we design things from the very, very beginning. We just we can't choose cheap material,
Right.
right? We can't buy the inferior quality in the Bahamas. It doesn't work. You're wasting money. So
Right.
often in the design stage, we have to go to extremely expensive materials, the best we can possibly find. And the closer you get to the ocean, the more extreme it is.
Right.
So it's incredibly important. This is a piece of solid bronze hardware that was
Right.
custom made. If we didn't use solid bronze, it just rusts out, and you're going to replace it 6 months to a year. So that ends up costing more money. So in the design phase, and this is one of the reasons that projects are so expensive in the
Right.
Bahamas, is because you have to use the best quality materials. Once we've actually built the project, there tends to be a lot of maintenance again because we're on an island, and it's a very large component. We are often involved in that maintenance ongoing after we've done a project,
Right.
and it just makes sense because we know the product so well. We've often designed it. We understand the preventative maintenance and when it's going to fail and can be ready for that. Um, if you buy a brand new Porsche, you don't take it to somebody else to get them to maintain it, right?
No.
You take it back to the Porsche dealership.
Of course.
You get your oil changed on time. You do those preventive maintenance kind of
Right.
things. So it's very similar that when we've designed and built and installed something, that we're the best people to keep maintaining it.